What's up guys, Sal here. So Samsung and Google seem to have had a rocky relationship over the years, as Samsung grew larger and larger, eventually becoming the largest Android manufacturer in the world. It began to grow less and less reliant on Google services. Sure, Samsung phones run Android, but Samsung decided to use their own Tizen OS as opposed to Wear OS on their watches. And picking up a new Galaxy smartphone usually means being met with two versions of essentially the same app by both companies. Heck, Samsung even has its own Galaxy store for apps. But in the last couple of years, things have dramatically changed. Samsung scrapped their Tizen OS on their watches and decided to use Wear OS from Google. They're also helping Google make the Tensor chipset that Google uses on their Pixel lineup. Google designs custom AI features on top of what is essentially an Exynos chipset. Not only that, but the Google Discover feed as well as Google Messages are now integrated into Samsung's One UI software. Samsung is also integrating Google Nest products into a SmartThings ecosystem and many more.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup!
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup!
One thing to note here is that all the effort is being put from one end, and that's Samsung's. Google doesn't seem to do much in the partnership until now. We have a rumor that tells us that Google is actively helping Samsung make a better chipset. For those living under the rock, Samsung has discontinued using their Exynos chipset in their flagship devices until 2025. They did this to make sure they are competitive with Apple and Qualcomm's offering, which the current Exynos chips are clearly not. Samsung will follow Apple's approach and make the Exynos chip specifically tailored for Galaxy phones only. Now, the Tensor chipsets aren't the best out there by any means, but what they're good at is AI. And it seems that's where Google is giving its expertise to Samsung. Artificial intelligence is the future. It's good to have the raw power, but it's equally important to have great AI capabilities on a phone, because AI will take over the majority of things we do on a phone in the next coming years. Google is the master when it comes to AI, so this is great news for the future of Samsung chipsets. Another area where this new Exynos chip will differ compared to Apple's and Qualcomm's chips is that it will feature 10 CPU cores instead of 8 we have on current chipsets. 2 Cortex-X cores, 4 high-performance cores, and 4 efficiency cores. This would effectively make it the most powerful chipset when it launches. But the problem is it is scheduled to launch in 2025, so we're still 3 years away at this point, so plenty of time for things to change. Now, some of you might wonder, why is Samsung wasting its resources on Exynos? Why not just use the Snapdragon all over like they are doing for the Galaxy S23 lineup? Well, there are 2 reasons. Having their own chip would mean Samsung can optimize the phone according to their needs, as Apple does, and even to some extent Google does on Pixel phones with their focus on AI. Second,
this is business!
The cost of production will go down when you have a component that's made in-house rather than outsourcing from someone else. Also, for us, it's great news whether or not you're a Samsung user, because competition drives innovation and makes things better for everyone. Samsung is using an exclusive Snapdragon chip for the Galaxy S23 that's better than their Android competition. To know more, click here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.